Golden Axe is just one of those games that most gamers can agree on being one of the best beat-em-up brawlers of its era. I played it on the arcade and then later on my Sega Mega Drive. I had both 1 and 2, and of course 3 I never got my hands on because it only came out in Japan. And because of that, because I never played it, I had to go on screenshots and always thought it was a terrible game. Until recently when I got to play it and realised that this is actually a decent addition to the series. So I wanted to get my hands on it, but not the Japanese version. I love the Japanese version. I wanted a PAL version. I wanted a version that could sit alongside the other 2 boxes on my shelf and fit in perfectly. And so in today's show, I'm going to be building a custom PAL and Genesis version of Golden Axe 3. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. Welcome back to the Retro Game Boy Show, and every once in a while I like to get out my craft knife and digital pen and create something just a little special for my Sega Mega Drive collection. In the past I've created a special custom Streets of Rage 4 box, I've made an EA Classics collection box and a Mortal Kombat arcade box for the Mega Drive collection. And today I'm going to tackle something very special, something close to my heart that I have a lot of nostalgia for. I'm going to take the style of Golden Axe 2 box and create a PAL version of it for Golden Axe 3. So this copy here I bought cheap off the internet. It's a fake, but it has everything I need. It has the PCB and manual in it, and everything else is going to be thrown away. Now I'd never take an original game and butcher it just to make a custom version, so having something like this was perfect. Now I want to take on a bigger project after this. I want to make a modern, full collector's edition with a figure and art book for one of these games on my shelves. And I'd love you guys to jump down into the comments below and let me know which game you think I should choose to make a full modern collector's edition out of. Right, let's make a start on this box. So first off, I wanted to get the right image to go on my Golden Axe box, and I went to the original artist for Golden Axe 1 and 2 in the PAL regions, and that was 𝗵𝗺𝗴𝗴. Now, his artwork also featured on Golden Axe 2 when it came out on the Genesis. And Boris is a expert. He is the leading artist when it comes to kind of sword and sorcery kind of artwork, him and his wife. And so I wanted to bring his artwork, his original artwork, onto this new Golden Axe box that I'm creating. Now, his original pieces for Golden Axe 1 and 2 have the characters face on, looking out of the box. I wanted a more dynamic picture, so I looked through his catalogue of images and I found this one. I thought it would be absolutely perfect. Now I start off with changing the clothes and the loincloth, enhancing the colours to make them more like the original Golden Axe. Then I found this image by Boris, and this was his original Golden Axe 3 artwork. So when Golden Axe was due to come out in Europe and the States, this is the artwork he did. Now again, I didn't want this face-on stuff, so I just want the 2 characters here. I want the cat guy and I want the tank. First off, I'm going to bring them in here. I don't need the cat guy just yet, so I'm going to clip him out and copy him to the pasteboard, and we're just going to focus on our tank over here. Now I have to resize him, merge him into the picture. You'll see that his legs finished a bit too early, so I'm going to have to redraw his legs in there, and the lighting's off a lot, so I'm going to have to redraw the lighting. Now I start off with just subtracting, removing the bits of the image that I don't want. I use a feathered brush here, and that helps blend the character into the image, and you can see I'm just removing all the stuff that I don't want. Next up, I resize, do a bit of lighting, a bit of color changes so he blends into the environment better, and then I work on his legs. And to get his legs right here, I paint in his legs, clone it a little bit from the other characters, do a little bit of painting myself, as well as work on the actual lighting of the character. I'm going to paste in the cat now and do exactly the same thing. Just get this feathered brush, get rid of all the background of the cat and make sure that he's blended in nicely. I want him behind this crop of rocks here, coming out as if he's kind of got onto his steed and is racing to help his comrades out. So I just subtract the background here. Obviously I've got to now change the color of the cat because he's like this blue color. So I change the hue and the curves to get this really nice blue. And then I set him behind the rocks as well. And what I've got here is an image that I'm really happy with now. It's got all the heroes on screen. They all sit nicely within the lighting, and it's a real dynamic image. Our next bit is to actually recreate the box now. I use the Golden Axe 2 logo and just make it Golden Axe 3. Again, what I've looked at here is the Golden Axe box and made this a continuation of the series, so it follows the design ethics of Golden Axe 2 rather than the original Golden Axe. But they're all fairly similar. It's pixel perfect as well, so the legal text or the lines that you're seeing here, the grid on the black background, this is all pixel perfect to the originals. Got the description and the screenshots in there, and the screenshots themselves, I actually went on and captured those myself and then brought them into Photoshop here. Next to the manual, now this cannot be a traditional horizontal manual, it has to be a vertical style manual, but I'm going to make it look like it's horizontal, so hopefully when we get the final product it looks perfect. And then here's the label. Again, I've had to redraw the little bump in the top here and make sure it's as pixel perfect as I can get it so it looks like an authentic label for a Sega Mega Drive cart. So here's the Golden Axe 3 box that I got from China. It's super cheap. You can see the plastic here, really shiny and thin. It's a fair representation of the original Japanese version. You can tell it's a scan. The print and the dot gain that you can see on here is dreadful. You can see that the colors are bleeding all over the place. It's just not a good replica of the game, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be throwing this away and using our original one. Now it comes with the manual. The manual is not too bad. Same problem as the cover. The print quality isn't great, but it's great to have a manual as well. That's why I picked up this version of the game, played a little bit extra so I could have a manual so we can wrap that new cover that I've created around it. One thing I would say is that Japanese manuals were freaking amazing compared to what we got in Europe, which were just bare bones, very basic. Look at this map. My goodness. One day I'll get the Japanese version. Right, here's the cartridge. Very flaky, cheap plastic, not very good. It's one of these cartridges that clips together with a bit of plastic. You can see the labels already starting to come off of it. It's just a terrible quality. Hopefully the PCB inside is good quality. And the box, it's thinner than a normal box and worthless. So the first thing I'm going to do here is try get the PCB out. It's a bit tough. Usually these just unclip. So what I'm going to have to do is use my tools. This is my little toolbox here. It's got all my screwdrivers and everything I need to kind of maintain my Sega Mega Drive collection. I'm going to get 2 prying sticks out here and hopefully this will help me get this cartridge open. Like I said, they usually just pop open, but these should help me break open this cartridge and get to the PCB inside of it. For some reason it doesn't want to go in here. It's a little bit tough. It's tougher than I expect. I'm going to get this big lever in here and try break it. I think it's locked inside. I think there's 2 bits of plastic that usually go through the actual PCB. So what I'm going to do here is very carefully, without cutting off my thumb, see if I can cut through these bits of plastic. Right, I've managed to cut through them. You can see here these plastic, I think they were molded in together or glued in together. There was no way I was going to get that out without cutting that. PCB's in okay condition. I haven't damaged it, but you can see here, super cheap PCB. It's not a good quality one, but it works. I have tested it to make sure it works. Now I've got blank cartridges, and that's because I went to a car boot sale here in the UK and I found a guy who was just chucking these away. They had no PCBs in them. They just had labels that were ripped up and torn. There was about 6 or 7 of them. And I used these to create these custom carts for my Sega Mega Drive. So I'm just going to unscrew this cartridge here, the blank cartridge, and hopefully the PCB that we can see here actually fits in. Those 2 holes drilled through the PCB there, they need to marry up with the holes within inside the cartridge. And it looks like it's going to be a very close fit. So I'm just going to move the PCB around a bit. Yep, that fits. That is going to be a very snug fit. That's perfect. That fits perfectly in there. So we'll put this cartridge back together again. I'll put a little bit of ink over the screws. When you unscrew them, it scratches them a little bit, and putting this ink over the top of them just makes them look new. Right, next up we have the print. I'm really happy with the results of this print. The printer I use, they do me some amazing prints. So we're going to start off by very carefully cutting these out with a very sharp craft knife. So here we have them cut out. and I'm going to start off with the box first. But you can see here, this is the manual cover. You see how it's going to fold over the actual manual that we got within the Golden Axe 3 box. Right, time to put the inlay in. Quick look at the label here, but we're going to put the inlay into the box. I've got a spare official Sega box that we're using here, and it fits perfectly. Just see if it wraps around the spine. Yep, no wrinkles. That looks amazing. I'm really happy with that. That looks really authentic as well, doesn't it? Well, I think it looks authentic. That looks great. I can't wait to compare them next to each other. Right, there you can see the actual Golden Axe 3 box, the cheap one, versus the new one that I've created for it here. Right, time for the label. Just make sure that fits perfectly. I've got to be very careful with this. I used to use glue. I now use this kind of sticky back plastic, this double-sided sellotape stuff. So I just need to unpeel this. This is super thin as well, so it doesn't lift it. It doesn't raise the label above the cartridge, but it means I can't make a mistake. I have to fit it on perfectly. No bubbles, no wrinkles, so I am very, very careful when putting this on, because I will ruin it completely if I don't. And it fits on perfectly. Just bend it over the top here as well, so you can see the bookend of the label. And again, I'm so happy with this. It just looks like an original official cartridge that you'd get with the game. Right, the hard bit. Those two bits are the easy bits. The hard bit is the manual here, because I want to keep the front cover of the manual here. I don't want to take that front cover off because it's got artwork on the inside of it. And so what I need to do here is fold the manual cover over, make sure I get that exactly correct. We'll just pinch it along here to mark it, and then I'm going to press down on the actual cover here to make sure that it fits snugly over the top. Next, I need to open up the Golden Axe 3 manual and surgically remove the staples from the back here. So I'm just going to open up to the middle, take out these staples. I then need to wrap the new cover over the top and mark out where the staples are going to go through. So I marked out the staples, I've pushed them through, and you can see that this looks like an original actual manual, but actually underneath it, it's got that Japanese, that fake Japanese Golden Axe 3 manual inside. Right, manual protector on here, and now this goes into our box to complete the PAL version of Golden Axe 3. I'm really happy with the results of the box. It's come out absolutely fantastic. I really think it fits with the series of games that I've got. And now I have Golden Axe 3, a PAL edition, unofficial, in my games collection. Now, if you'd like to download this cover for either your PAL console or for your Sega Genesis, I've got the files and a link to them in the description below. Just click on those and you'll be able to download them and print off your own custom covers for your Golden Axe 3 edition. Now, if you're new to the channel, if you enjoyed what you've seen today, then why not consider subscribing? You can do that by clicking on a little button just below this video. We put out brand new retro gaming videos every single Monday, and so that you never miss one, also make sure you hit the little bell just below this video. Now, if you can't wait until Monday, if that's way too long for you, then you can always catch up on our huge back catalogue of retro gaming videos, 2 of which you can watch over here.